Sonic's expressions need to be better, because what we're getting so far in the most recent games just isn't cutting it at all. Now, this is very odd, because at basis, Sonic's design is super cartoony, so it would obviously lend itself way more into being super expressive. Despite this, Sega has always had a problem when it comes to making Sonic look expressive. Now, this wasn't really a problem during the classic games. I mean, just look at any sprite from those games and you can clearly tell just how expressive they are. But I think this really started to become a problem during the 2010s era of the Sonic series. Even though the game that released before this era, that being Sonic Unleashed, did a really good job at showing Sonic's emotions and expressions in that in-game animation, since then, Sonic has been stuck in this very generic look. It's very apparent that during this era, Sega was desperately trying to standardize the Sonic series as a whole, and of course with this idea came the standardization of Sonic's character. He no longer shows any emotion outside of just a slightly cocky smile, and even when they are trying to show a little bit bigger of an emotion out of the character, they just can't pull it off at all. Now, this did get a good bit better in Sonic Frontiers, and with that game having a much more serious and immersive story, that kind of forced the Sonic in the game to be way more expressive, and kind of to Sonic team's credit, they did a somewhat good job at improving things here. In this game, Sonic can actually express a little bit, and compared to the few games that came out before, that is a massive step up. However, I feel like they didn't go all the way with this, and kind of makes it feel somewhat haphazard. Well, I think they can actually fix this, and honestly, I think there's a really simple way to do it. I think all they need to do is exaggerate things more. Sonic is a cartoon hedgehog, so they can just push all of his expressions to the somewhat extreme, and it would totally work. I think a good example of this is this edit of Sonic from Frontiers, and I think if Sonic team just focused on using his eyebrows and mouth so much more instead of just using his eyelids for everything, which is just so stupid, it would greatly improve on this. So yeah, I really hope that Sega fixes Sonic's expressions in the next mainline game, because what we're getting right now just isn't at the potential that the character could be at.